Hello! So today we are going to be doing something very involved. I have created my very own March Madness inspired Walt Disney World attraction bracket. So today, with the help of Brennan and Dennis and a few whiteboards here, we are going to be collectively deciding what the best attraction in the entirety of Walt Disney World is to us. And how I've done this is I've split it up into 6 different regions. Right, so we have the thrill attractions, the mild attractions, the boat/water ride attractions, the dark rides, the shows, and then the simulators/3D attractions. And we have, before starting the video, we went through a list of the entire catalog of Walt Disney World attractions, and we seated them in a certain way so that it should be a little bit interesting and hopefully easy for us to do. There are a lot of attractions here, a lot of different brackets, and it's a little bit complicated because there are 6 regions, but I'll be hopefully putting up some graphics here so you can kind of follow along with that. Are you guys ready to rank all of the Disney World attractions? We are going to start with the thrill attractions, okay?
I'm ready.
So first off, we have Big Thunder Mountain Railroad versus Slinky Dog Dash. And we have our clipboards here. We are going to write down our answers. We're going to show them off. And if they're unanimous, we're not really going to talk about it that much, but if, I don't know, if somebody has something different to say, then we'll let them defend their case, and then we will see who moves on to the next round. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
Okay. So 3, 2, 1, reveal! I'm assuming that's going to be Thunder Mountain?
No, this is going to be Slinky Dog.
Okay. What'd you say? Thunder Mountain. So...
Yep.
It's a classic. It's a big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Slinky Dog is fun.
Maybe I should write a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I guess so. But all right.
Block letters be easy to read. I don't know.
Well, we got to kind of go through these fast because we have 60 plus ones to go through. Okay, so next up, Space Mountain versus Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. All right, ready to reveal in 3, 2, 1.
So I tried to draw space here. This is the sun.
Uh-huh.
That's Mercury. That's Venus. This is the Earth. Where Space Mountain is located, Space Mountain wins.
You're slowing us down, Hornsby number 3.
Okay, so far, Space Mountain advances. No real upsets here. I think everybody can, for the most part, kind of unanimously. Where'd my wipe go?
Did you make Thunder Mountain the 1 seed over Space Mountain?
I did.
You're in trouble, Hornsby.
So next up we have Rock and Roller Coaster versus Test Track. You guys ready to reveal?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1. What do we have here? Test Track and Rock and Roller Coaster. Okay, so you're the outlier, so
Yeah.
defend Test Track.
I think out of all the other coasters that Disney has, if we're choosing between Test Track and Rock and Roller Coaster, I think we could do without one less roller coaster, and Test Track gives you more of a wide array of stuff to do in one attraction. It's interactive, it's got different elements, it's got a fast element, it's got slow indoor dark ride elements, so I think it offers more than Rock and Roller Coaster.
And I guess our defense is that Rock and Roller Coaster is just the most thrilling, probably, ride at Disney World. One of them, at least.
It's got the only loop-de-loops.
That's
upside
true.
down.
Test Track is fun, but I think a lot of it is... I didn't get to experience the original Test Track, so I can't really say much about that. The outdoor part is definitely the most thrilling, but Rock and Roller Coaster from start to finish is thrilling. And we have 2 to 1, so Rock and Roller Coaster moves on.
So when we defend ourselves, does this give you, like the other people, the opportunity to change their mind?
I think it could, but I won't change because Rock and Roller Coaster was my first.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was the first one I ever did that was like upside down.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be scared of roller
That
coasters.
was my first one, too.
So
it's a
next
special
up,
place.
we have Expedition Everest versus Tower of Terror. All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, it seems like you take a
I
minute to
changed
decide.
my answer.
You changed your answer. All right, 1, 2, 3. Everest, Tower. Okay, Dennis, explain yourself.
I felt bad about choosing coasters on everything, and also, I don't know. Personally, I like riding Everest more, but I felt like Tower was better themed. You know, this is like very special, something that you don't really see anymore of. You know, like Twilight Zone-esque stuff. Even though that's coming back, I guess.
Tower, I flip-flopped between putting it in the dark ride category versus the thrilling category, so it has a lot of elements that make it attractive to anybody. You know, the dark ride factor appeals to more people than the thrilling factor does. So it is a really, really cool ride, but as far as just the re-rideability, I
It's
think,
also different every time you ride it.
more or less, yeah. But I think Everest has, again, that consistent from start to finish thrilling factor. Tower of Terror, you have to kind of make it through the pre-show. You have to make it through all the elements just to get to the ride itself, which repetitively kind of diminishes the re-rideability of it, I think, in the long term, at least personally.
I do like going backwards on Everest. That's fun.
For me, I can ride Tower of Terror with a straight face these days, but Everest, I still get genuine joy out of riding it. And as far as being themed, I actually think Everest has really good theming, to the point where even as a young teen, I thought, outside of the Yeti part, that the queue and everything, like the storyline, was all real.
So, you changing your mind, or you sticking to it?
I'm sticking to Everest.
Everest moves on. So next up, we are going to be moving on to the dark rides category. So in this category, we have Peter Pan's Flight. I probably should have done this for thrill rides. We have Peter Pan's Flight, Journey into Imagination, Haunted Mansion, Journey of the Little Mermaid, Spaceship Earth, The Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Dinosaur, and Space Ranger Spin. So first up is going to be Peter Pan's Flight versus Journey into Imagination.
I will say that I am deeply biased. I have many rides that I despise.
That you despise? Okay.
And Peter Pan is not one of them!
I put Figment
Over Peter Pan's Flight?
over Peter Pan's Flight.
Woo!
I do think that Peter Pan is a classic attraction. However, I feel like Figment offers more to the attraction. It's fun, especially if you have a couple drinks. Makes it even more fun.
Well, we don't have the opportunity to have a couple drinks and go on Peter Pan's Flight.
To be fair, I got stuck by the Indians once in Peter Pan's Flight. You know, the part where they're like doing the and if I had a couple drinks, that'd been pretty fun.
Peter Pan's Flight is for me, synonymous with Disney World, with Magic Kingdom. It's one of my favorite rides, if not my favorites ever. So Peter Pan's Flight moves on, baby.
Why is your board so dirty already?
Because it's red. It's so stained. So next up we have Haunted Mansion against Journey of the Little Mermaid. Got a lot of Magic Kingdom attractions in this bracket. Okay, you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Haunted Mansion
Duh.
wins out. Yep, Haunted Mansion. I mean, Journey of the Little Mermaid is fun, but
It's fun.
Haunted Mansion is it's Haunted Mansion, so that is absolutely going to move on.
That was an upset of the number 2 seed Little Mermaid, right?
Nope. Next up is Spaceship Earth against the Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Okay, you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3. We have Spaceship Earth taking it home. That
And
is-
a waffle.
That is beautiful.
That's the golf ball.
Yep. So, again, if these are going to be completely unanimous, then there's not really much to argue about it because we are in agreement and we have a lot to get through. But Spaceship Earth, it's iconic. It's so iconic. Okay, finally we have Dinosaur versus Space Ranger Spin. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. We have Dinosaur, and Space Ranger. Okay, Dennis, why Space Ranger Spin?
Because I despise Dinosaur.
You despise it.
Yes. I wrote it after I had surgery once on my behind, and it was very hurtful, and it hurt my butt a lot.
I feel like we're putting a little bit too much personal feelings into these.
That's the
All
point.
personal feelings.
It's all bias. It's all
So, Space Ranger Spin because
Yep.
Dinosaur makes his butt hurt.
personal opinions, I guess.
Literally butt hurt.
So Dinosaur moves on. So that is the dark ride attraction category. So real quick before we move on to the next round, I wanted to kind of explain a little bit more about how I had to do the bracket because we split it up into 6 regions so we could fit some of our favorite attractions on here. So the thrill attraction and the dark ride attraction category, because they have some of the most popular attractions, those are going to go against each other, and then the victor between those two are going to have a bye against the victor of the other 4 categories. So we still have mild, boat, show, and then simulator. So next up is going to be the mild versus the boat category. So we're going to start off with the mild category, which is going to be the Walt Disney World Railroad versus Dumbo. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. We have railroad, and then a picket fence.
Yeah.
Dennis, I appreciate your creativity here. The railroad, even though it hasn't been around for kind of a long time, it's classic, and it's just a nice, enjoyable experience around Magic Kingdom. You know, something else that I totally forgot to mention is that there are some rides that we have not yet ridden collectively which would not have been fair to put it on this bracket because we haven't experienced them. So Rise of the Resistance and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway over at Hollywood Studios, we all have not been able to do those yet, even though those are probably very prime contenders in the dark ride category. Haven't gotten to do them. So
and just to even out the brackets, we removed some of the attractions as well.
Also Tron.
Not open yet, but I'm sure it'll be up there once
But you haven't ridden it.
opens it. Once they open it. So next up we have the People Mover versus the Barnstormer.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Yay!
People Mover, and then People Mover, and I kind of ran out of space to write it, but People Mover moves on similarly to the Disney World Railroad.
What's not to love about a ride you get to sit in for as long as possible?
Exactly,
and not move
right?
at
You just get
Disney,
to
right?
watch people.
Move.
Why do you like it? Like, this is your favorite ride, I think, in the Magic Kingdom.
Just because, like, I love a good attraction that is something you can still do where it's just people watching. It's people moving, people watching. You get to go through that, like, cool Space Mountain part where it goes pitch black and everyone's just like, whoa!
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's just something, like, so fun about it.
And the
Were
wait
you there
time is
that
very
time?
minimal.
One time I rode it, I think you were there, and the lights on Space Mountain were on, and we went through it on the People Mover.
That's always
That's pretty
super cool. Next up, Astro Orbiter versus Alien Swirling Saucers. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Astro Orbiter. Astro versus Alien Swirling Saucers. What an unfortunate acronym there. Explain yourself. Why do you like that more than Astro Orbiter?
Astro Orbiters is uncomfortable. The wait for me has never felt worth the ride itself. And then you sit in the uncomfortable little spaceship. And even though I don't like Alien Swirling Saucers as much as I like Junkyard Jamboree over in California Adventure, it still reminds me of it. And I still get a good giggle out of it.
It's fun to get slung around, I think, over there. And getting to do anything in Hollywood Studios, I think it's fun because they don't have a lot of rides.
I like Astro Orbiter because I feel like we went there like 7 times before I even ever rode it. Because like you don't even realize it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I guess you see it, but you're never just like that's a ride. It's like
Yeah.
hard to see where the queue is, you know.
I like it because it's a more elevated version of rides like Dumbo, I think, because, and then also we removed a couple other spinners from the list because we didn't want this entire category to be just spinner rides, so we took Astro Orbiter and Dumbo, kind of the top 2 ones.
It also makes me
it's
feel
fun.
special.
It's kind of thrilling, honestly, and it's way up there. You get to look down at everybody. Feel
I will
special.
say
I
the
feel special
landing-
because it's harder to get on.
True.
Sure, the landing of Astro Orbiters is pretty intense.
It's so exciting. So next up we have Kilimanjaro Safaris and then Tomorrowland Speedway. I forgot how to spell tomorrow. Uh-oh. Whoops.
What are Royce saying?
Oh, yeah, kind of gave it away.
Paging.
All right, well,
Mr.
3, 2,
Tomorrow's Safari.
1. Safari, and then Tomorrowland Speedway. Wow, that's kind of an upset for me.
Yeah.
I really like Tomorrowland Speedway, like a lot. Everybody else is kind of uncomfortable and put off by the smell of that ride. I don't really get that.
I like the smell.
Most people don't think it belongs in Tomorrowland, or that it's just it's a very pungent ride to have there, and it's very boring. Kind of is, honestly, but then so can, I think, the Safari sometimes, depending on the animals, depending on your driver, and so there's a lot more factors that go into to the Safari than go into the Speedway. And if it has just a good wait time, it's just, again, fun to just kind of get on and do, and get a good look at Tomorrowland while doing it.
Yeah.
Did I sway either of you, or you're still sticking to Safari?
No, I'm still sticking to it. Safaris is a unique experience, and it's different every time you go on it, and
Which can be a good thing. Yeah.
It's very popular, so it makes it a little bit lucrative to go on. So when you do get to go on it, it's very exciting. It's a long ride. It's informative. You get to see animals, whether it's just maybe a couple birds or whatever, but it's still really fun, cute.
Mm-hmm.
Gets you out of the sun a little bit.
I will say, as many times that I've gotten to go on the ride, it's one of those few rides that I don't really remember what's coming next, because we've done so many rides where we just know the entire ride track, know the entire experience. That's one of the rides where I'm just like, are the elephants next, or is that after the rhinos, or where are the lions? The lions are at the end, and it gets to be a little bit different every time. But you guys won. You beat me.
We did it.
Did you have anything to add?
Like you said, Safari's different every time. They had baby giraffes last time. It's like whenever I'm at Animal Kingdom, I have to ride the Safari. When I'm at Magic Kingdom, I don't need to ride Tomorrowland Speedway.
That's true. It is the ride at Animal Kingdom. but I still love myself some Tomorrowland. Speedway.
Next?
So next up, we are halfway through our preliminary elimination, I guess, of the entire bracket that we're doing. But next up, we have the
Spicy.
No, we had the mild, but we're gonna have the boat ride / water ride attraction bracket, which consists of Jungle Cruise, Cali River Rapids, Pirates of the Caribbean, Frozen Ever After, Splash Mountain, It's a Small World, Three Caballeros, and the Navi River Journey. So first up is a Jungle Cruise versus Cali River Rapids. All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1. Jungle, Jungle, and the Cali River Rapids. Okay, Dennis, explain yourself.
I've just never really liked Jungle Cruise that much. Because to me, you ride it once and then you get all the jokes. And then they keep reusing the jokes the next time you're there. And I never liked puns in the first place. I kind of hate puns. So it makes me want to, like, jump out of the boat.
I will argue that your skipper makes or breaks the joke, so it's different every time. I chose Jungle Cruise because I just personally don't like water rides.
So this is a great category for you.
Yeah, I also love getting wet.
So, Jungle Cruise, I used to be a skipper. I worked there for about a year, about 5 years ago, and it's still one of the most fun experiences that I think that I've ever had. I think working at Jungle Cruise for a lot of people is a bucket list theme park experience, and 100% the skipper does make or break your ride, but if you have a really good skipper who really cares about giving you a fun experience, then it's going to be like an unforgettable ride, and I think it's one of those quintessential to first day operating ride. It was their opening day, so yeah, it's a beautiful attraction. But are you convinced, or are you sticking to Jungle Cruise?
Sticking to it.
Jungle Cruise moves on. So next
I'll
up
kill it later.
we have Pirates of the Caribbean versus Frozen Ever After. Dennis is just
You mean bet?
he's just drawing everything. We're just sitting here just waiting. Want to go and show ours? We got Pirates, and then looks like
Frozen!
Nope, that's Pirates of the Caribbean. So, Frozen is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It has some incredible animatronics, but Pirates of the Caribbean, absolute classic. It's still fun to do no matter how many times you've ever ridden it. And, I don't know, just getting a couple swords from the gift shop and just smacking them around, it's enjoyable.
Plus, Frozen wait time's way too long.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Next up, we have Splash Mountain versus It's a Small World. You guys ready?
Yep.
So 3, 2, 1. Splash, triangle, splash, splash. So unanimous. Even though you don't like to get wet, you still appreciate it for what it is?
If somebody was just like, the only two rides that we can go on today are Splash Mountain and It's Small World, I'll choose Splash Mountain.
It's incredibly iconic for sure.
It's also still fun to like watch outside of like the.
It's one of the
getting wet part.
longest attractions in the entire park too. Like the detail, the immersion, the animatronics, the songs. It's, just comparatively that to anything else, I think it's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So finally, for this category, we have Three Caballeros versus the Navi River Journey. You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1. Navi, and then Majin Buu.
No, this is Navi. It's an avatar.
From Dragon Ball Z.
I'm not a good drawer.
I did struggle with this one because I think the Three Caballeros is very classic, and I do enjoy that ride. But
We're going to say the word classic probably kind of a lot.
yeah, but I was just like, okay, if I brought family to the parks and I was between those two boat rides of like, oh, we have to go on this one, obviously Navi River Journey.
Right? And it's beautiful, and it's an experience even if you haven't watched Avatar. It's just something you can just enjoy and kind of be relaxed on. The wait time is a little bit ballooned, and Three Caballeros, you can usually pretty much just get on it, but I don't know. River Journey is gorgeous. So we're getting close. Next up is the show region. So in this region we have Fantasmic, the Hall of Presidents, Country Bear Jamboree, Finding Nemo the Musical, the Carousel of Progress, Beauty and the Beast live on stage, the Festival of the Lion King, and the Enchanted Tiki Room. So first up is going to be Fantasmic versus the Hall of Presidents.
That's that water one at Hollywood Studios, right?
The water one. It's the nighttime. This isn't really a nighttime spectacular. It kind of is, but it is also a show.
The one at Hollywood Studios?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, with all the boats.
Yeah,
Okay. You ready?
it's Hall of
1,
Presidents
2, 3.
galore.
Fantasmic, and Fatastic. What? So, yep.
Don't talk
Unanimous.
about Farley like that.
Fantasmic is one of the most beautiful shows that Disney has ever done.
Still
and
makes me cry.
Absolutely.
As
That
much as I
finale.
love the Hillary Clinton shaped Donald Trump animatronic.
That's something. Next up, we have Country Bear Jamboree versus Finding Nemo the Musical. You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. We got Nemo, Bears, and Not Applicable.
I don't think I've ever seen the Nemo musical.
But you've seen the Bears.
Nemo.
So you wrote Nemo? You don't like the Country Bears? You can't vote for Nemo without
Smoke
seeing it.
on the water.
It's blood on.
Blood on. See? It's so forgettable. I already forgot.
No. Wait, what do we do here? Does Nemo move on?
Nemo moves on.
How? You haven't seen it.
Because I've seen Bears, and I think if you took your kid in to see Bears, they'd be very disappointed.
Well, I bet you can't say the same about Nemo, right?
I don't know. I can't say if Nemo is
So
disappointing.
you've seen one of them but not seen it. What do you think?
I don't know.
Should you vote for the thing that you actually have seen to move on because you haven't seen the other one, so it's not fair to cast a stone against it? Should we just flip a coin?
But I
I'd say
actively
so.
dislike Bears. I assume that Nemo is better than
You
average.
really don't like Country Bears?
I really don't.
Wow. Okay. I guess Finding Nemo moves on. This makes me sad.
Are you upset?
I'm upset. My entire bracket is upset. So next up we have the Carousel of Progress versus Beauty and the Beast live on stage. You guys ready?
No.
You're not ready? Okay. 3,
No.
2, 1. We have Beauty and the Beast, Carousel of Progress, and Beauty and the Beast. What is happening in this bracket right now? Have you seen Beauty and the Beast?
Not the one there, but Belle's my favorite Disney princess, so I gotta back her up here.
No! What is this? Are you annoyed because I'm frustrated? It's the Carousel of Progress.
I feel like we shouldn't be doing this based off of our own personal feelings, but
That's what makes it fun.
you're right.
It's a blend of both. The
That
Carousel
way
of
somebody
Progress.
can comment in the comments.
It was
and
at
be
the
like,
1964 World's Fair. It was one of Walt's original 3 attractions that he brought to the World's Fair, then brought over to Disneyland, which made its way over to the Magic Kingdom. It is the quintessential Magic Kingdom. Walt Disney.
I'm not gonna argue that they. I feel like they have equal pull here and an equal defense, but I had a hard time with this one, so I just had to choose. I think Beauty and the Beast is more fun.
Okay, that's fair.
That's pretty much what it came down to.
Beauty
for
and the
me.
Beast, fun fact, that show did debut the day that Beauty and the Beast was released in theaters in 1991. So that show is almost 30 years old. So that's kind of crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
A 30-year-old show at Hollywood Studios that debuted the day the movie came out, which feels like an eon ago. Okay, so Beauty and the Beast moves on. Next up, we have Festival of the Lion King versus the Enchanted Tiki Room. Okay, we ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Not the Tiger King, but the Lion King.
The Lion King, that's topical. And then that's a crown.
It's a crown emoji.
Okay. So we have unanimous for Festival of the Lion King.
Another show that still makes me cry every time I watch it.
It's just such a beautiful show.
It's the birds.
I've seen that show, and I can confirm this.
It's
Wait, that
incredible.
it makes me cry or that it makes you cry?
It makes Brendan cry every time.
All right. So Lion King moves on. Enchanted Tiki Room is still, well,
It's definitely not as fun.
don't
I
got to
think-
do it every time.
I think it is the #1 drunk attraction at Disney World.
Okay.
Tiki Room? How?
If you were wasted, I think that'd be really fun.
I think I'd be a little bit scared.
Yeah, I'd be pretty overwhelmed.
Especially when the tiki start
I'd be
talking.
kind of overwhelmed on Winnie the Pooh too, just in that like trippy scene where just elephants and colors everywhere and mirrors.
Next up, let's do the bracket based off of if we were drunk.
Oh, so we have moved on to the final region in our bracket. This video is very long. If you're sticking with us the entire time, thank you. This is a lot of fun for us to do. We have reached the simulator / 3D attraction category with Flight of Passage, Mission Space, Soarin', Tough to Be a Bug, Smuggler's Run, Star Tours, Toy Story Mania, and Muppet Vision 3D. So first up, Flight of Passage versus Mission Space. Okay, ready?
Mhm.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Oh, Flight of Passage wins supreme.
Let me see a fop.
So, yeah, I guess really no debate there at all. The Mission Space, I've actually yet to do the more intense version of that.
This has been an ongoing thing for years.
Yeah, it has, but I think that speaks to itself that I haven't even sought out to do the more intense version.
It's because you don't want to.
You get sick.
So next up we have Soarin' versus Tough to Be a Bug.
He also promised me he would ride the more intense version with me.
I will
And
one of
me,
these days.
you guys know.
All right, we ready?
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1. Soren.
Whoa.
And then Zac Efron. You spelled his name
Because
wrong.
we're Soren.
You need a.
Why not Troy Bolton?
There you go.
Really?
Yep. Does not spell
Zach,
his
you're missing a
name.
letter on your name,
Doesn't
dude.
spell his name with a K. Soren moves on. Next up, we have Smuggler's Run versus Star Tours. So the two Star Wars attractions in my seating are pit up against each other. Okay, we ready?
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1. Smugglers, Star Tours.
Yeah.
What?
Ooh.
Explain.
I mean, if I'm being blunt, like Smuggler's Run was fun, but I wasn't that impressed.
Okay. How come?
Obviously Galaxy's Edge is really cool and everything, and the theming is just impeccable. But the ride itself,
Wow.
All right, hold on. Give me 1 second, all right? I need to fuel up here. I'm about to unload. See, Smuggler's Run is every little boy's dream. They get to fly the Millennium Falcon. If you bring your kid on that, they will be amazed for the rest of their lives, I think.
and if I was ever a little boy who was obsessed with Star Wars, I would probably agree with you.
I gotta say, though, that Star Tours does have multiple experiences. It's different every time that you ride it,
But
theoretically.
in Smuggler's Run Defense, so does itself, you know.
No, it's the
got-
same experience every time.
But you can experience it 6 different ways.
That is true.
I'm defending Smuggler's Run, but I'm sticking to my Star Tours.
And I'm defending Star Tours, but I'm sticking to my Smuggler's Run, which means it moves on! So, finally, we have Toy Story Mania versus Muppet Vision 3D. Okay, so we have Toy Story Mania, Muppet Vision 3D, and I've got a snick in my boot. So, Toy Story Mania?
Mhm.
Oh no!
I do agree that we should love and appreciate the Muppets, but when it comes to something that's just fun, Toy Story Mania.
I agree. I think that just Muppet Vision is just it's a nice experience to have, just to go, just to sit down. It has animatronics, it has live Muppets, and the 3D isn't the best, but it's the very final project that Jim Henson worked on before he passed away back in the 90s or the late 80s. That's why I like it a lot, but I do enjoy, like, it's a lot of fun. Toy Story Mania. Muppet Vision moves on.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. The other one does, Toy Story Mania. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to split this video into 2 different videos because I imagine this is already incredibly long as is. So those are the results, I guess, of our bracket breakdown for the Thrill, the Dark, the Mild, the Boat, the Show, the Simulator 3D regions for our attractions bracket challenge of the Walt Disney World Resorts. Now, I guess we're going to end the video here, and then we'll start a new video and then upload that as its own video going into the semifinals, the finals. We'll see which 2 attractions have to duke it out. We'll have a little bit more involved conversation about those attractions and why what attraction should reign supreme in the Walt Disney World Resort according to our seatings. So I guess thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Yep. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. And we'll see you next time here on Oyby. That got really game show-esque there at the end. Okay, have a good day, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye.
Bye!
Bye.